Hello everybody, Don't Blink here again with another Battlefield 3 gameplay commentary for you guys, and today I've got a game of Rush Attack on Damavand Peak, otherwise known as Base Jump. I'm using the support class with the PKP as my primary weapon. I absolutely love this weapon. It's definitely my favorite light machine gun in Battlefield 3 as of right now. Who knows what will happen down the line with all of the patches that DICE has planned. When it comes to game balance and adding new features, changing other features, and all that. So we'll see what happens a year from now and how all of the different weapons shape up. But as of right now, I'm loving the PKP. It has the least amount of spread of all of the light machine guns in Battlefield 3, so it means that it's more accurate when fired fully auto, which is something that I enjoy doing, especially with the suppression mechanic that was introduced in this game. Being able to fire fully auto and still have a decent chance of hitting your target is fantastic. But anyway, that's enough about that. What I do want to talk about today is back to Karkand, because we finally have a release date for that expansion pack. It's coming out on December 6th for the PlayStation 3 and December 13th for both PC and Xbox 360. So I'm glad to finally have a release date on that. I don't know what was happening with this MCOM right here. Having lots of difficulties, technical difficulties, as they say. But I'm glad we have a release date, although I'm still kind of peeved at EA for signing that exclusivity deal with Sony and giving the DLC to PlayStation players before everybody else. I don't like preferential treatment like that, but what are you going to do, right? Money is money, and I guess the more money EA and hopefully DICE get from Battlefield 3, the more likely it is they'll support it down the line, and we'll eventually put together a good Battlefield 4 or Bad Company 3, who knows. But yeah, so that exclusivity deal is still in place, unfortunately, which means that those of us on the Xbox 360 and myself in particular on the PC will have to wait an extra week. But, you know, all's fair in love and war, I guess you could say. And we'll get it eventually, and I'm just glad that it's not a month-long deal or completely exclusive. That would really, really piss me off, and I'm sure it would piss off a lot of you guys as well. But more details when it comes to Back to Karkand. It features 4 maps, so nothing new there. We got Wake Island, Sharkey Peninsula, Gulf of Oman, or Oman, and Strike at Karkand. So no news there. 3 vehicles will be included in the expansion pack, which were featured in previous Battlefield games. And there's also going to be 1 new vehicle, which some of you may have spotted in the most recent Back to Karkand trailer, which is a skid loader. It's just a little kind of like a dump truck almost. So that's kind of funny, and there's actually a trophy / achievement which you can get in the expansion pack for killing somebody with the skid loader. We don't have any sort of achievement system on the PC version of Battlefield 3, which is kind of unfortunate. But I'm guessing they'll give a medal or a dog tag or something like that, so it's all good. And then the other 3 vehicles that were included in previous Battlefield games are a jet, a buggy, and an APC. So a little bit of everything. And then finally, this was actually uncovered by MP First, Multiplayer First, which is a website that is very good about getting up-to-the-minute news out there on Battlefield, as well as Call of Duty and other multiplayer games. But apparently the most recent PS3 patch had a little bit more included in it than the PC patch that came out right before Thanksgiving here in the US, so I think it was released on November 22nd. Anyway, the PS3 patch has a lot more from the upcoming Back to Karkand patch and, you know, content update and all that. So there are a few extra changes that were thrown into that PS3 patch that weren't included in the PC patch, among which were the 10 weapons that will be available in Back to Karkand. So I'm just going to go ahead and name off all of the 10 weapons that will be included in Back to Karkand just for completion's sake. But it's going to be the PP-19, the FAMAS, the L85A2, the MK3A1, the HK53, the QBZ95B, the QBB95, the MG36, the QBU88, and the L96. So that includes 2 all-kit weapons. I think it's a PDW and then a shotgun. And then 2 assault, 2 engineer, 2 support, and finally 2 recon weapons. So I think this expansion pack is going to be really good because, number one, it's new maps, and to be completely honest, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the maps in Battlefield 3. Some are good in only 1 mode or 2 modes, and others are good in no modes at all, but these are tried and true maps. They've been tested for thousands of hours by players, and people still play on them in Battlefield 2. So hopefully the transition to Rush, because Battlefield 2 did not include the Rush game mode, hopefully that transition won't be too painful, but those maps will be sure to be good in Conquest mode, so I'm looking forward to that. And then adding in new weapons and new vehicles is always nice as well, just for a little bit of variety in the experience, and the ability to take the Back to Karkand weapons to the vanilla multiplayer and actually use them is going to be really cool. That's something that wasn't done with Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam, which is the most similar piece of DLC I can think of when compared to Back to Karkand. So that's a cool feature. There's also the assignment system that I've discussed in a previous video, but that's basically a way to unlock the weapons in Back to Karkand. And that looks cool as well. I don't know how long those assignments are going to last, or if they're going to be changed or modified or refreshed or anything like that, but I'm really excited for Back to Karkand. I think it's going to breathe a breath of fresh air into Battlefield 3, and I feel like Battlefield 3 kind of needs it. And not to mention the fact that they're also going to be including a number of balance fixes and bug fixes and performance fixes and all that good stuff. So definitely looking forward to December 13th. And those of you who get it on PS3, I envy you like no other. But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was one of the few games of Rush that I was able to actually win in the past week or so. I've been having a lot of difficulty getting onto a good team and actually pulling out a win, so glad to finally get one. This map is pretty darn good up until this last base, and this last base can be a real pain in the butt to be successful on. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.